I was very excited for the first deer hunting season on our new property, and as you can see, there's obvious signs of deer activity. I even found some scat that I think is consistent with a bear. I started things off by throwing out some corn. I know the legality of this is different state to state, but in North Carolina it's legal, and Davis had too much fun, so I didn't want to deprive him of the opportunity. After that, I prepped my trusty hunting dog. Just kidding, we're doing some dog sitting. For my first few real outings of the season, I sat in a ground blind just to get the lay of the land and learn the patterns of the deer. I saw several animals, but unfortunately everybody's pretty small. I didn't see any antlers and nothing worth harvesting in the first week or two. After that, my brother came over, and unfortunately he doesn't have a lot of places to hunt locally, so this was really his only opportunity to get a deer. After a couple of sessions in the deer blind, jumping at every noise, which is pretty much a bird, we decided to change things up a little bit. Because we hadn't seen anything, and because it was a little chilly outside, we decided to shoot from a table right in front of my garage. We're shooting down the same line as you saw before. It's about 140 meters to the pile of corn. You can't see in the camera, but there actually is a deer down there, and my brother managed to knock it down. It ended up being a mid-sized doe, and even though it's not the biggest animal, it was my brother's only opportunity to hunt this year, and it ended up being a good thing because regardless, you get venison. I finally got my elevated deer stand together. It was a bit of a project, and I know you're not supposed to make big changes to your hunting ground mid-season, but it was a way to mix things up so that I can try something other than the ground blind. Of course, Davis wanted to try hunting with me, so now it's back down to the ground blind. After a little bit more corn spreading, which he was happy to do, we tried it out. As a 3, almost 4-year-old, he's not exactly great at sitting still, but he really enjoys himself anyway. If you listen really carefully, he tells me there's no deer out there. Of course, like 20 minutes in, like all children, he needed to pee and then promptly urinated right in front of my deer stand. His patience for sitting quietly in the woods in the cold quickly waned, but it was definitely a fun experience. To help inject some life into my failing deer season, I decided to buy a deer feeder that went on a Black Friday sale. It's something I had been looking at because I want to eventually get goats anyway, and it was a fun excuse to get a new toy. Of course, after the very first deer was harvested on my property, every other deer in the entire neighborhood decided to become nocturnal, and they had deer rave parties in front of my deer camera every evening, exactly after sunset. Honest to God, I never saw another deer during daylight hours for the rest of the season, and as you can see, they were definitely out there. Well, maybe better luck next season.